Straight ahead on Live at 4, someone shoots round after round into this liquor store, hitting two men. What witnesses say they saw that could help in the search for a suspect.
This morning, the government shutdown is finally over, but find out why you may never get paid for the days it kept you from work.
And taking kids from the physical classroom and opting for online education instead. Hear why one parent says the choice she made for some of her kids works for them.
And it's Nacho Normal Vigil, why these people came together to pay their respects to their local Taco Bell. Fox 59 Morning News Live at 4 starts right now.
From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Morning News.
4 o'clock, we're taking a live look at the Indiana State House downtown. That's where Sunday alcohol sales could take another major step today. More on that coming up this hour. And if you're heading downtown today, you could run into some rain or snow and way colder temperatures. Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. I'm Scott Jones.
And I'm Liddy Thaxton. He's Jim O'Brien. Snow, huh?
Yeah, looks like we're making that transition right now.
We got rid of it just a few days ago.
We did, yeah. It all melted away. We had 54 for a high yesterday, and then of course
nice.
we had the thunderstorms last night.
That's
so
true.
we
did?
A little bit of everything, yeah.
I didn't
Felt like
hear anything.
hail on my window. Was it?
There was
hail?
reports of small hail. We had even a report of some wind damage up across some sections of Hamilton County. Yeah, a couple limbs were nothing serious, but a couple stronger wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Now we're making that transition into colder.
All right, Britt, thank you. Let's get right to our breaking news this morning. 2 men are in the hospital after somebody fired 15 to 20 rounds outside an Indianapolis liquor store.
It happened just after midnight at CNC Liquors at 38th and Moeller. That's on Indianapolis's northwest side. And Tricia Hart is live at police headquarters with more on what happened and also the search for a suspect. Tricia?
Good morning. Unfortunately, we don't have much of a suspect.
And another shooting investigation this morning, this time in Muncie. A person is shot at the corner of Macedonia and East 18th Street. That's on the south side of Muncie. Police at the scene taped off the parking lot of a Village Pantry convenience store. So far, we don't know the victim's condition or what led up to the gunfire. The victim told police he does not know who shot him or why.
And we're following more breaking news this morning, this time out of Indonesia. A 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck off the island of Java. That's according to the United States Geological Survey. It shook some buildings in the capital, Jakarta. Right now, no word on damage or people hurt. Stay with Fox 59 on air and online for updates.
Carmel Clay School's Human Resources Director is now out of a job. We've learned that Corrine Middleton has resigned. She was on paid leave for the last 3 months. Earlier this month, the superintendent, Nicholas Walls, resigned. He was also on paid leave. The district has not provided details about the resignations or the reason the two were put on leave in the first place.
Also off the job this morning, an IMPD recruit officer. He's now under arrest, actually. Police say Musa Nyang pointed a gun and tried to strangle a man while off duty. These are the charges he faces in the New Year's Eve incident, 3 of them. The department tweeted about it saying, quote, "Transparency matters during good and bad times. Sadly, the actions of this individual hurt us all. Yet it must not overshadow the good that remains in your IMPD."
We have some new developments on the 2 people accused of murder in Brownsburg. Keisha Summerhill and Arian Cruthard now facing new charges. They're accused of killing 74-year-old Alice Wright and attacking her husband, Kearney. Besides murder, they also face robbery and battery charges. Detectives say the 2 targeted Kearney Wright, who is severely disabled, and his wife, Alice. Summerhill previously worked as a home health care aide in the couple's home. She's accused of using her knowledge of the home to set up a robbery. Now, according to court documents, a witness told police the robbery turned into murder when Alice tried to call for help.
A northern Indiana EMT dies in a frightening crash in Miami County. State police say an ambulance driver fell asleep behind the wheel, ran a red light, and crashed into another car along US 31. 32-year-old Musa Chaban was thrown from the back of the ambulance. A mother and baby were also in the back of the ambulance, but they're okay. State police say he died doing what he loved.
That is just trying to make his community a little bit better and trying to comfort an infant and make sure they're receiving the medical care they deserve.
Chaban's family says he leaves behind a widow and a loving family. The ambulance was headed to Indianapolis from Mishawaka. It did not have lights or sirens on. It was going the speed limit. No one else was seriously hurt.
President Trump is patting the GOP on the back this morning. He tweeted after signing a bill last night ending the government shutdown, which was caused by his deadline for DACA. Here's part of Trump's tweet. Big win for Republicans as Democrats cave on shutdown. Now, I want a big win for everyone, including Republicans, Democrats, and DACA. Should be able to get there, see you at the negotiating table. And while the president calls this a win, you could still take a loss.
Hundreds of government workers in Indiana could still lose money. The American Federation of Government Employees says many government employees who worked through the shutdown not going to get paid for it. That's unless Congress passes legislation to ensure they will. Even so, Indiana representatives say they are happy the shutdown is over.
I'm very happy that in the end, Republicans and Democrats, it seems, have come together, 81 of us agreeing that we need to fund the federal government and these other important services.
I think the encouraging thing it says is that there's a very strong group in the middle that's able to make sure we can get things done.
A DACA fix was not included in this bill. Lawmakers have until March to come to a resolution on that.
And here at home, local lawmakers are getting closer to passing Sunday alcohol sales, the last state in America to do so. They could vote on it as soon as today. Yesterday, the Senate passed a bill to allow carryout sales between noon and 8 p.m. on Sundays. The bill is now headed to the full House. Now, if they pass the bill, it then goes to the governor's desk. We'll keep you updated.
And in Carmel, you can see it was standing room only during a meeting on a proposal to build an Islamic Life Center there. The plan is to build the mosque at the corner of 141st and Shelbourne Road. The congregation would hold up to 300 members and have a parking lot with 100 spaces. Ahead at 5:30, find out why some people living in Carmel aren't too pleased with this possible addition to their neighborhood.
Time right now is 10 after 4, getting children back to writing in cursive.
Why Indiana is one step closer to requiring your child to learn this practice in school.
Plus, you're going to look at our cursive writing a bit
That's
later
right.
on. All right, he's known for cracking racy jokes, but today not everyone is laughing. How an Indiana mom is taking a comedian over his Netflix special.
And talk about being passionate about your food, why one community is paying their respects to their local Taco Bell.
And Monday was a mild day. Temperatures hit the mid-50s. We had a few thunderstorms late in the day. Here we are now talking about rain changing to snow. Along with that, just grassy accumulations will be expected for today and another warming trend as we head into the weekend. We're going to have more on that in the 7-day coming up in a few minutes.
You're watching Central Indiana's #1 morning news.
Here's a live look of the White House. That's where the Trump administration is celebrating what they're calling a major win for now. Late last night, the president signed a bill ending the government shutdown. That lasts only until February the 8th. All right, it's 4:13 right now. Besides handling the budget, Trump is also preparing for his first state visit of his presidency.
He's expected to invite French President Emmanuel Macron for an official state visit. Here are the two in New York last September. An official date hasn't been set, and it's unclear when the White House will make the invitation official.
Need a washing machine or solar panels? Prepare for a massive price jump. The Trump administration will issue huge taxes on foreign solar panels and washing machines. Many of those sold, of course, here in America. Trump will increase the tariffs on washing machines from overseas eventually by 50%. And he'll increase taxes on solar panels by 30%. China and Korea will feel the brunt of these taxes. The decision coming after the U.S. International Trade Commission said importing these products hurts American companies.
Hollywood breakups aren't cheap. Netflix says cutting ties with House of Cards actor Kevin Spacey will cost $39 million. The split happened late last year after Spacey was accused of sexual misconduct. Abandoning projects with him caused the majority of these financial losses. Netflix didn't tell investors which projects were dropped, but a source told CNN the Spacey scandal put an end to House of Cards and also canceled the release of the film Gore. Spacey isn't the only Netflix star to be accused of sexual harassment or misconduct. Netflix canceled plans for comedian Louis C.K.'s stand-up special because of sexual misconduct allegations, and actor Danny Masterson was written out of the ranch amid rape allegations. Despite all the recent scandals, Netflix still managed a record 8 million new subscribers in the fourth quarter. And more controversy is coming to a nationally known comedian seen on Netflix. Now an Indiana mother is taking him on.
She says he used his hate speech in his latest special. Now the Down syndrome community is calling on Netflix to take the comedy special down. Comedian Tom Segura's new special called Disgraceful includes a joke using what they're calling the R word. He says it in reference to people who have an extra 21st chromosome. A Northwest Indiana mother whose daughter has Down syndrome took to social media. She's asking Netflix to remove the show from its programming.
Our kids are the same as everybody else's kids, and with hate speech like this, it's hard for us to continue to have that dialogue with the rest of society.
All right, the petition also calls for a public apology. We reached out to both Netflix and Tom Segura and have not heard back.
Well, what doesn't kill us definitely isn't making us stronger. Research recently discovered the human body fights off fast food much like a bacterial infection. Experts say consuming fast food triggers an acute inflammatory response in your body, so much like a bacterial infection. A diet with excessive amounts of sugar and fat can permanently damage your immune system. A weakened immune system can put you at risk for diabetes, heart attack, or even stroke. I don't know why when I read that line, it just kind of cracked me up.
I do say I feel good when I'm eating it, but worse when I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Makes sense,
like it's
yeah.
not necessarily, but what are you going to do? Hey, can I get a Big Mac inoculation? That way I can have
That'd
3
be
for
nice.
A
lunch.
strain for that. Yeah, I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just tastes so good.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's your only choice when you're really busy and running around.
Absolutely.
Everything in
You're right.
moderation, and then forget all these studies.
Yeah.
Wait, then we won't have a job.
Oh, that's
Never
right.
mind.
Yeah, no, it's tough, and you're right. When you're traveling, or you're on the Interstates traveling,
Yeah.
or just trying to run errands,
Right.
sometimes you're like hungry, and you're like, okay, this is what I got. This is what I'm gonna take.
Exactly.
There you go.
So, all right, giddy up. 417. I'm still gonna eat it.
Yeah, me too.
Just not as often.
Stop by.
All right, let's talk about what's happening here.
Thank you, Jim. Well, paying their respects to Taco Bell. Customers of a Birmingham location were so upset when the restaurant burned down, they held a candlelight vigil. The Taco Bell went up in flames last week. Frequent customers posted on Facebook they wanted to hold a vigil for their beloved restaurant. It started out as a joke, but as you can see, they actually organized a vigil and showed up.
I work a lot of long hours, a lot of driving all over Montgomery, and this was a regular stop for me. And so I was a little bummed whenever I found it burned down because I don't have a nearby Taco Bell anymore.
The restaurant says they plan to rebuild. It's still unclear what caused the fire.
Not your typical story, that's for
No,
sure. Yeah, I'm tired of talking about it anyway. An amazing finish to the Boys City Tournament in Indianapolis. See who came out on top after going into double overtime.
Plus, IU tries to defend the home court at Assembly Hall. Find out if the Hoosiers are keeping their Big Ten winning streak going this week.
No jam. Broken up by Milos and a save. Oh, he's in the first row. Those are expensive seats, Milos. Slam dunk by Harrell.
Oh yeah, way to take advantage of that turnover. Minnesota, T-Wolf, Jeff Teague finding Andrew Wiggins on that fast break. Look at the finish, that's huge. Surprised the rim lasted. The T-Wolves beat the Clippers 126 to 118. Now here are the rest of your morning scores.
Down the stretch of a game, and you got to make them.
He misses both, but Morgan cleans it up.
IU's Josh Newkirk misses 2 critical free throws versus Maryland, but Juwan Morgan is there to clean things up. He managed a game-high 25 points with a bum ankle, and Morgan was a key component in IU's 71-68 win last night.
Indy Sports Central's Dave Griffiths was at Assembly Hall to watch it all happen.
Lock up another win for the Cream and Crimson, who are now 4-0 in games decided by 5 points or less this season.
If you can get stops and you can find a way to hang in tough games and get stops, and your team is believing that you can win a game without scoring points, that's step one. I also think we have a really good player in Juwan Morgan that you can go to in the last 4 minutes of a game, and he can get some things done for you, which was the case tonight.
And Morgan wasn't even a lock to play tonight after missing most of Friday's loss at Michigan State with an ankle injury. But the junior woke up this morning and said he felt ready to go.
It's starting to feel good, and it kind of hurt not being able to practice because the guys were going hard in practice. And so it was the least I could do going out here tonight, just giving it my all.
Figuring that, a full other round of treatments today that we would know by game time. And, Juwan said he felt pretty good, so obviously he played like it.
No rest for Morgan and the Hoosiers. They'll be back in action Wednesday night on the road in Champaign, facing Illinois. In Bloomington, Dave Griffiths, Indy Sports Central.
Hot new uniforms are sure to make USA the toastiest team at the 2018 Winter Olympics. Athletes will sport brand new heated parkas for the Olympic opening ceremonies in South Korea. Here they are. The red, white, and blue Ralph Lauren parkas come equipped with a built-in heating system. A lightweight battery inside the uniforms provides 11 hours of heat. Temperatures in Pyeongchang are usually in the lower 20s, but they may drop even lower than that.
Update currently in
What is
Pyeongchang, Gangwon-do, South Korea.
That one?
13 degrees right now.
I didn't know it was that cold.
Oh yeah, it's cold there. It is South Korea. That matters that much. It's 30 miles apart. All right, coming to a better understanding on how children in foster care perform in school.
We're going to tell you what lawmakers are doing right now to get these kids the help they need.
And breaking news this morning, we're following a double shooting at a liquor store on Indy's west side. We'll have more on the search for the suspect.
And heading out this morning, keep in mind the roadways are wet. We will see this transition from rain over to snow. Roadways will continue to stay wet on through the morning rush hour as temperatures stay above 32 degrees. We'll have much more on today's forecast coming up.
Someone fires 15 to 20 rounds into a liquor store in Indy, hitting 2 people. The trouble police are having now with the victims while searching for the suspect.
Should hate crimes lead to harsher penalties? That's the question state lawmakers will consider today. We'll tell you what both sides have to say on this issue.
A heated debate in Carmel, why some are opposing the construction of an Islamic center, and how you can still give your 2 cents on this issue.
And a job could bring you one step closer to royalty. Buckingham Palace is hiring. We'll tell you the skills needed to work for the Queen. Fox 59, the king of morning news, continues right now.
From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Morning News.
All right, take a look at this snowstorm blasting Minnesota. Several counties there under a blizzard warning. You can see blowing snow, making it rather hard to see. Drivers struggling to navigate. Transportation officials are warning people to stay home there if they do not have to be out on the roads. Good morning and thanks a lot for joining us. I'm Scott Jones.
I'm Lindy Thaxton. He's Jim O'Brien. So we're getting snow, but not
none of that. In fact, blizzard warnings now have expired up across the upper Midwest.
Okay.
It was 3 states that had that blizzard warning. Some spots in Iowa picked up 14 inches of snow.
Normally that stuff comes our way, but it's just going to dissipate?
Yeah, no. It tracked north and basically east of us, so it kind of bypasses. We were in the warmer spot, yeah. So as the snow was flying there, we were enjoying mid-50s yesterday afternoon. So we were in the warmer sector.
Breaking news out of Lawrence, a woman becomes the victim of a hit and run. This happened around 3 o'clock this morning on 56th Street, just east of I-465. We're told a vehicle hit the woman, didn't stop. But this time we don't have a description of that vehicle. The victim was taken to the hospital with a leg injury.
And following breaking news out of Indy's west side, 2 men are in the hospital after somebody fired more than a dozen shots outside a liquor store. This happened just after midnight at C&C Liquors. That's in the area of 38th and Moeller. Police are saying the victims are not cooperating and they don't have much of a suspect description, despite witnesses saying they saw somebody take off on foot. We don't have information on those victims' conditions. We will keep you updated, though, as we learn more information.
We have a Fox 59 crime tracker alert. The search is on for a man accused of carjacking a woman and then forcing her to drive around at gunpoint. This is John Moreno, the suspect in this case. Police say this happened back in November. Moreno is accused of robbing a woman while she sat in her car in her driveway. Police say he forced her to drive around at gunpoint and pulled the trigger. Eventually, the car stopped at 30th and Moeller. The woman jumped out and got help from another driver. Court records show Moreno ditched her car later that day, but he has not faced a judge on his charges.
Heaven knows what would have happened if she hadn't gotten out of the car. I mean, we may have had another homicide. So he's not a nice guy. And after this case, he literally kind of disappeared off the map.
The woman was hurt but is recovering. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers at 262-TIPS.
The push for a hate crime law continues today. That hate crime bill goes before a Senate committee at the Indiana State House. Today's hearing is at 9:30 this morning. Similar proposals have failed, blocked by Republicans in the past, but supporters hope this year could be different. Our Indy Star partners reporting GOP House Speaker Brian Bosma expressed support for harsher penalties for hate crimes. In the past, he has not. Indiana is one of 5 states without a specific hate crime law. Opponents say these laws create a protected class for only some victims. Supporters say the lack of a hate crime law could deter companies from moving to our state.
Also at the State House, lawmakers are trying to better understand how foster kids are performing in school. A bill is pushing for the Indiana Department of Education and Department of Child Services to track the progress of children in the system. Foster kids face a lot of challenges when it comes to education. This includes being moved around a lot and having to switch schools. The IDOE does not have any data on graduation rates among foster kids, but they started collecting the information this year.
If we have this data, then organizations like ours can work with schools and child welfare to build supports and strategies around foster youth and start closing that gap.
The bill passed the Education Committee unanimously last week, and we'll keep you updated on its progress.
Controversy in Carmel this morning. All this after dozens of people showed up at a zoning appeals meeting to voice their opinions on a proposed mosque.
So many people showed up. The meeting was moved to a bigger location. Some people were even turned away at the door. Alexa Green is joining us live from Carmel this morning, laying out both sides of this argument. Alexa?
Alexa Green, Fox 59 News.
Thank you, Alexa. Also in Hamilton County, construction will start this spring to expand schools in Westfield. This morning we have a look at what those projects will look like. All this coming from our news gathering partners at the Indy Star. They report Westfield Intermediate, Westfield Middle, and Westfield High School will also get a bit bigger. The intermediate and middle schools will have new spaces for project-based learning. The high school will have new classrooms, a production lab, and a renovated performing arts area. Last May, Westfield residents approved a tax increase to help fund that construction. Work is expected to start in April.
In high school hoops, a familiar team is waking up the winner of this year's city championship. Take a look. Cathedral goes into a second overtime before becoming city champs. The boys basketball team beat Howe by just 2 points, 88-86. This is Cathedral's second straight city title.
Congrats to them. Time right now is 4:38. You may want to quit your 9 to 5 and opt for a more royal line of work.
Or your 2 to 10.
Yeah, that too.
Find out the position the British royal family is looking to fill this year.
And reintroducing ourselves to cursive writing. How Indiana is now one step closer to requiring this in all schools.
Instead of using the internet in class, they're going to class on the internet. The growing local school helping some students get their education online.
And take a live look at Guardian Radar. Still tracking rain and snowfall across parts of Indiana. Again, roadways are wet. Temperatures still hanging above freezing. We'll keep it that way on through this afternoon. We'll talk more about today's forecast and another warming trend building back in. And welcome back. It is 4:41. Take a live look at Guardian Radar. We're tracking rainfall and a little bit of snow here across central Indiana. Again, roadways will be wet as you're heading out on this Tuesday morning. We're holding at 36 degrees. Will any of the snow stick later on today? I'll let you know coming up.
Jim, thank you. National School Choice Week is underway right now. The week is dedicated to highlighting basically options: public, private, magnet, charter, or homeschooling. Plenty of options to think about.
But how about this? Can maybe a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer replace a classroom?
We got them all.
We do. Jillian Deem has more on how virtual schools are growing.
Very nice job. It's an option for education growing in popularity.
I can remember when we had 0 students, and as we're speaking right now, we've got 6,000 plus students.
IVS is a free online charter school for 6th through 12th grade students in our state.
We have about 42 teachers. We have students from all 92 counties.
And as enrollment increases, so does state funding for the school.
The money follows the student in the state of Indiana.
Recently, the nonprofit Chalkbeat criticized IVS for having the lowest graduation rate of any public school in the state. The Department of Education reports last year's graduation rate is under 7%.
We have to admit students. We're a public school. We can't turn students away, so we just can't take the good students. And by the way, we don't take just the good students. By the way, just the opposite. We take those struggling students.
IVS officials say the graduation rate is low because many of their students face unique challenges: health conditions, discipline or learning issues, teen pregnancy, or even problems with bullying. For others, it's a way to learn at their own pace.
Improve your grades.
Brothers Nathan and Matthew Ballard are different ages, 17 and 15 years old, but they're both senior year students at IVS.
A little friendly competition, like we'll compete, same class.
The brothers also compete through their local high school's swim team and are able to do so by taking 2 classes there.
In the afternoon, we get like the social interaction of normal high schoolers and those classes, and you have those assignments. You can kind of compare and contrast. I think people need to stop stereotyping online versus normal high school and realize it just depends on the person. It depends on your attitude, your motivation, your goals.
My husband and I were kind of searching, and
For their mom, a mother of 6 boys, her goal was to find the best fit for her family.
we have a large family. So we have different age groups. Some kids do very, very well being in a classroom. Please keep them there. Some kids do better online and away from other kids. Give them that option.
Jillian Deem, Fox 59 News.
Right now, 203 students have graduated from the school in the last 7 years of its existence. But again, officials say their growth has really only been in the last 2 years. Well, right now it is 444.
And we want to talk about your forecast because we had some rain which got rid of all the snow, and now we hear there's possibility more precipitation coming our way. But the question is it going to be snow?
Well, I heard Jim just yell a little bit, so I was wondering what happened.
I was running over.
Computer related.
I wasn't quite ready just yet, but now I'm ready. I'm good to go. And so you guys were wondering if it's going to be rain going.
Asphalt.
Asphalt.
It's fancy asphalt.
This is fancy writing.
It is. New this morning, a bill requiring all Indiana schools to teach cursive heads to the House. The Senate approved the bill in a 38-11 vote yesterday. Republican Senator Jean Lysing's cursive bill has failed to get a hearing in the House for 6 years. But a poll last year showed 70% of teachers supported. So whether you prefer print or cursive, today is National Handwriting Day.
Yeah, and we want you basically to check out our penmanship. You can see on this picture, we each wrote the words National Handwriting Day. And we want you to figure out whose writing belongs to who, A, B, C, D, and there's 4 of us, so that works out perfectly. Just comment on all of our Facebook pages with your guesses and also tell us why. Like, I see that one's big and billowy. That goes along with the personality of Jim O'Brien or something like that. Yada, yada, yada.
We'll let you know in the 6 o'clock hour what's what.
Yeah. Do you have any guess who yours is?
Reasons our handwriting looks like us. Why, wait, what?
I will say mine's awful. Mine's one of the bad, but they're all pretty bad.
I don't have good
I know,
penmanship
we
at
don't.
all.
Yes, you do. You have perfect penmanship.
Yours is
on the whiteboard.
Perfect.
Oh, on the whiteboard.
Oh my gosh, he spends so long
He
writing
does. It's
on
like
the whiteboard.
you can hear it's like.
And he erases it. He erases it, and he'll start over if he messes up a letter.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Probably lost that talent now
I miss
too.
the whiteboard.
That's true.
So do I.
What happened
Bring
to the whiteboard?
the whiteboard back.
There's no room
Jim.
for it.
Soon.
There's no room for it in the end.
We're
We're
be on our
almost
new
done.
set soon.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, soon.
So he keeps saying.
Soon.
Hey, the biggest game of the year may also be the most expensive ever.
Find out how much of a hit you'll take at the bank when buying tickets to this year's Super Bowl.
Play it now, play it now, play it now, my lady. Jacqueline Wills, you make me a smile.
I love Neil Diamond. We have plenty coming your way that is fresh at 5. You will no longer be able to see a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer live. Why Neil Diamond says he will no longer tour.
And get ready for your piece of the pie here on Fox 59 at 6:20 in Kylie's Kitchen. She's showing us a sweet and salty creation for National Pie Day.
Hey, Fox 59 wants to wish you a happy birthday, and today is Natalie Wallace's big day. Do not sleep through it. She says, happy birthday to me.
Oh, I love that. Happy birthday, Natalie. If you have a birthday wish to share, just visit fox59.com/happy birthday. Post their name, birth date, and your shout out, and we'll try to get it on the air.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, we're still talking about handwriting. All right, the time right now is 4:53. We are looking at stories making headlines all around the world.
Pakistani activist Malala Yousafzai's charity is getting a major investment, and it's coming from Apple. The investment will allow the Malala Fund to double the amount of grants to fund the secondary education for girls in India and Latin America. The initial goal is to help more than 100,000 girls. Apple didn't specify how much it's donating, but CEO Tim Cook will join the fund's leadership council. We know that. Well, this is a rare sight out of China. A camera caught this rare snow leopard roaming the wild in the northwest part of the country. It's the 36th snow leopard caught on infrared camera in the past 3 years. Snow leopards are considered endangered. This animal is rarely seen in the wild due to the loss of habitats and poaching. So this sighting, they say, is a good sign.
No, without a doubt. Here's a question. Are you looking for a change in career? You could move across the pond and work for the Royals. They're hiring a communications assistant to help manage their social media. You would move into Buckingham Palace. Your job would include helping with press releases, media briefings, and social media updates. You'll also get to travel for work. And who wouldn't like 33 days of vacation time? Now the question is, does that include you are working every single weekend, so
Right.
you're getting a total of 33 because 52 weeks, you get like 110 days right there. 52 weeks.
If you have the
times two.
weekends off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're only getting 33, you're working every single day. Wow. I don't know. Anyway, the Royals will start accepting applications in April.
This robot is now on the hunt for a new day job. A Scottish grocery store fired Pepper the robot. Customers enjoyed the novelty of the store's newest employee, but the store found Pepper less than helpful. In one instance, a customer asked where she could find the milk, and Pepper told her only it was in the fridge section, but the robot didn't tell her how to get there.
Oh, what a crime.
Oh my gosh. Useless.
They fired, what's it going to be in the robot unemployment line?
So where is that?
That is adorable.
That would be adorable. Back here in the States, if you're trying to get to this year's Super Bowl, well, get ready to pay up.
Tickets for this year's game are set to be the most expensive ever. It is the Patriots, of course, versus the Eagles in Minneapolis this year. Right now, ticket price tracker saying the cheapest ticket is more than $4,000. Prices fell $500 after the Vikings lost to the Eagles, so no home field. The Vikings would have been the first team in NFL history to play a Super Bowl in their home stadium. So if you're thinking about going the resale route, the price is more than $9,000.
Wow.
Do you spend that kind of money?
Mm-mm.
Well, me neither. Well, a lot of people have that kind of money and they would do it. But
Yeah.
I would not be one of them.
No, me neither. No.
I can watch it from my TV. Look at that.
It's more comfortable on the
Yeah,
TV.
nobody's spilling beer on me. Yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada. I'm old. It's 4:56, just getting started here on Fox 59 Morning News. If you want to spend money on the Super Bowl but do not want to buy tickets, we're going to have another way.
Oh, well, that I'd be down
Well,
with.
there you go.
You can bet on almost everything on the game and surrounding the game. If you heard about this, we're going to take a look at some of our favorites.
And we continue to follow breaking news as 2 people remain in the hospital this morning. Our Tricia Hart will have the very latest on the shooting investigation.
And it will be a wet start on this Tuesday morning, tracking rain and some light snow. It continues to make its way in from the west. Temperatures staying above 32 degrees. A colder start to today, though. Roads are wet, not icy, which is great news. Again, travel should be okay for today. We'll have much more on a shot of colder air, but how long will it stick around? Details coming up.